Hey guys, welcome to the Snap Black Pod. It's your boy Po Theory. All right, so let's get into another view clip. It is a clip of the ladies discussing the rep Al Green. Apparently, he has been censured by the House because he interrupted Trump's speech. And so let's get into the ladies discussing it.
Texas Congressman Al Green was booted from the chamber for protesting Trump's joint address to Congress. Watch.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
So let me be the first to tell you again. If you watch any of my videos, you already know how I'm going. What I feel about this. The Democrats are some punks. They are some losers. They are lame. For him to be expelled from the chambers or removed from the chambers, and none of them stand with him, and none of them leave with him. What a whole bunch of jokes and losers and weaklings. And don't even. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
After there were calls for the House to censure him over this, he made his case the next day. Take a look at that.
The president indicated that he had a mandate. I said to the president, you do not have a mandate to cut Medicaid. I have constituents who need Medicaid. They will suffer and some will die if they don't get Medicaid. I heard the speaker when he said that I should cease. I did not, and I did not with intentionality.
But the speaker, also known as Mike Johnson, wasn't hearing it. Now, this is what he said about that. Watch.
They take no pleasure in making history like this. I want us to have proper decorum. I want us to maintain really the great tradition of this institution, and these things do damage to it, and I'm sorry that it happened.
What about an insurrection? Does that do damage to the institution? So yesterday, the House voted to censure Green, which inspired this show of unity from some Democrats. Watch this.
Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker.
Now, here they go saying we shall overcome or whatever they were singing. But where was all that energy when you guys could have actually left the chamber with the guy when he got kicked out? Don't try to come back this man's back after you've seen you guys get the donkey of the day and see how your base is responding to, again, another feckless and gutless response by the Democrats.
It's touching, but it didn't unite them all because 10 Democrats voted to censure Green. Wow.
Do you want to?
10 Democrats went over to the other side and censured him. 10. Y'all. 10. Do you hear me? 10. Now let's be very clear. When Marjorie Taylor Greene did the same exact, her and Lauren Boebert did the same exact thing, there was no censure. And then you have 10 Democrats going over to the other side to... They're the worst. They suck.
A list of the 10?
Do you want to hear their names?
Yes, I do.
Why go after them, too? Go after the Republicans.
They don't.
No, Joy. And this... Joy's response right there when Sonny slid that paper over with the names of the 10 Democrats, which they should be screaming and yelling from the top of the rafters, from the top of the buildings, wherever the highest point on this earth for everyone to hear. This is what the opposition party does. They turn on their own. And yes, it was only 10, but You never see this from the Republicans. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. And Joy, you should be yelling these names out. This is the issue. Stop worrying about the Republicans like Democrats or people on the left their shame of them will change how these people operate. That's not how it works. We need to be shaming our own so we can stop seeing pointless opposition or, yes, shame our own essentially. I'm so upset by this, guys. I'm sorry.
Don't know how to fight and be part of an opposition party. Representative Green gave them the example. The Democrats are not meeting the moment. It is very clear.
Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, Sonny. See, this is very different from the last video I did when she was with Stephen A. Smith, where she kept trying to go back to the Republicans. But here, she is 100% correct. Put the energy and the focus on the Democrats. The Democrats are not meeting the moment. They are hoping and praying that they can do what they did from 2016 to 2020 is to continue to say Trump is so bad, Trump is this, the Republicans are that. Meanwhile, not changing any of their policies, their messaging, how they will, run campaigns in the future, the type of people that they will try to run, stop being ran by octogenarians and things of that nature. No, they are doing the playbook all over again.
Clear that Medicaid is on the table. It is very clear that Social Security is on the table. It is very clear that people will die. The baby boomers, the civil rights generation, they knew what they had to do. They were willing to fight and die for their rights. This generation of Congress, they are not meeting the moment. This is an existential crisis.
And also, I might point out, some of them are from the most liberal states like New York, Hawaii, California.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Okay,
They should have all walked out with him.
And three of them.
Yes, Sonny. Thank you. They should all be ashamed of themselves and they should have walked out with them. I agree with Sonny 100%.
Three are
Okay,
from districts.
here's a question. Where was all this talk about decorum from Republicans when Marjorie Taylor Greene was screaming at Biden? Okay. All right, now, you want to hear where they are? I'm going to read them. Amy Berra, Ed Case, Jim Costa, Lauren Gillen, Jim Himes. I would never have thought that. Chrissy Houlihan, Marcy Kaptur, Jared Moskowitz. What?
Yeah.
Why are you shocked by Jared Moskowitz? You need to look at a lot of his votes. He voted to censure Rashida Tlaib. Like, come on. Jared Moskowitz is what do they call them? Rhinos? Republican in name only? He's a Dino. Well, actually, no. Let me take that back because he's acting like a Democrat. He's definitely not a part of the left. He's acting like a Democrat.
Marie Gluesenkamp Perez from Washington and Tom
I
Suozzi.
think, respectfully, though, there's a lot of people who saw the outburst differently, including Democrats, which was if you're going to protest and be an opposition party, do it with intentionality and make sure it works. Holding up signs, it's protesting. Like, are they being advised by people who use like Windows 98? It's the most outdated, inconsistent. But to his point, I get his point on Medicaid, but this mandate point, if Democrats are going to keep arguing, we only lost by X million of votes. That is not the winning message you guys think.
I agree. No, that I agree with. We only lost by this amount of votes. Well, he won. It doesn't matter. We're not calling, how's it go? We're not calling horseshoes and whatever that thing is. At the end of the day, the man won and he could do whatever he would like to do, especially when he was 100% honest about what he was going to do in his campaign. He won. So let's get past that message. Let's get past that messaging.
Think that it
He
is.
doesn't have a
But
mandate.
can I just tell you what Suozzi said, why he voted?
How many votes do you need
for
win
him?
by to have a mandate?
This is Suozzi's, he's a New York guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Both parties must hold themselves to the same standards we expect from the other side. See, they're going to a gunfight with a knife, as they say.
That is 100% true. I think the best way to equate it, as a Marvel DC fan, I like them both, sue me. We've seen this happen in every superhero movie where bad guy's flying through the city and he's hitting and knocking down buildings and doesn't really care about, life on the ground. And the good guy's trying to catch him, but the reason it's so hard for him to catch him because he's trying to help all the people that the bad guy's trying to kill because he doesn't care. He's operating by a different playbook. And in actuality, the good guy has to play by these rules that at the end of the day, if you would just not break a couple, but maybe deal with a different type of playbook so we can actually just get rid of the good guy and we can fix all the damage that we had prior to. Does that make sense? I hope it does.
therein lies the problem, you see. Look, I like civility in Congress. And I think that when you are in Congress, we are not at a WWE wrestling match. This is not the House of Commons. This is the U.S. Capitol. The problem is that this is not happening in a vacuum. We all remember when Joe Wilson, the Republican congressman, stood up against Barack Obama giving a State of the Union and called him a liar.
Said you lie.
We saw Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, the congressional hearings lately have devolved into shouting matches that are shameful. And frankly, like you, I have a really hard time being lectured by Republicans who are trying to whitewash and rewrite history, because if you didn't stand up against Donald Trump's pardon of 1,500 insurrectionists who have violated the Capitol like no other.
And again, like I said in the last video, the hypocrisy is the point of fascism. That's one of the pillars of fascism. Yeah, I don't care that I did this. I'm still going to hold you accountable because that's one of the pillars. Hypocrisy doesn't matter. This is, again, a part of the issue with the left and the Democrats, even though Anna is not one. Stop trying to shame these people when they have no shame.
Time in history, then you don't have the right to clutch your pearls and be all outraged
but they don't care.
over a member of Congress standing up.
Yeah, but my bigger outrage is every one of those elected officials in that room was put there because of voters. They have a job to do, and what they keep doing is not doing their job. Censures are like a slap on the wrist, and all they want to do is it was him, it was her, it was this. They fight against each other rather than work with one another. We send them there to make legislation, to move the ball forward. Right now, we have an impending government shutdown coming up. That's coming up. 70,000 jobs at the VA. Military aid and intelligence sharing to Ukraine was just suspended. Those are problems that people care about. Stop fighting like little wieners in D.C. and start answering to your constituents.
Now, that I agree with. I agree with Sarah 100% on that. At the end of the day, what is getting done? Even though the Democrats could be up in arms about what Trump's doing, but I feel like at every turn, even his agenda is not getting done because the judges are saying it's unconstitutional and, different things of that nature. What is the government doing for us, guys, except for putting a thumb on certain social issues for us to hate each other even more? Like, they're not working well. They're not doing their job properly. What is the point?
This censor stuff, even that we talk about, do we want it, who voted, who, this is all pathetic.
But doesn't the Republican Party, isn't that the party in charge of all these problems?
Well, no, censorship is a stupid thing that I called out when they said. Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about the cuts, the VA cuts.
Yeah.
Isn't that the Republican Party?
What I'm saying is get the work done. There's legislation. Like, stop singing in there. Stop holding up signs. Stop censoring the left and then the right and then screaming at each other. You're
Censuring,
feckless.
2 different words.
I don't care. You're feckless. And what they're
Yo, Sarah was on one this show. I like this kind of Sarah, but I did hear on the behind the table that she was sick, so she really ain't have time for the bullshit this time. Like, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Like, get the work done. There are people that are losing their health insurance. Do you know the type of health insurance that these senators and Congress people have? Like, it's crazy. From our taxpayer dollars, and they're literally yelling and singing "We Shall Overcome." That's crazy.
they're not doing is having more fun fighting with each other, putting on their partisan jerseys, than they are representing the constituents that voted them
And
there.
the votes will be there, the support will be there if they have a message that resonates with their constituents. And I want to play a quick clip, and it's no disrespect to Hakeem Jeffries, but this is what a losing message looks like.
What's wrong with y'all? You don't need to send paid protesters into your town hall meetings. The American people are with us.
Fire your social media person. There's no one behind you. Like, make it seem like people are with you. Make it seem like you want.
Yo, I couldn't be more aligned with Alyssa when it comes to this. Hakeem Jeffries is probably the worst leader the Democrats could have for this moment. He is not meeting the moment. He is failing and flailing horribly. Whoever thought that Hakeem Jeffries should have been the leader of any part of opposition in this time against Trump, he's done. We got to find someone else. Get somebody younger. Get someone that it rejuvenates us, gets us happy. It's very gaggy.
you want to be part of the team. But it seems like it's a lot of sign waving. It's disjointed messages. They can't decide what it is they're rallying around. In like this federal workforce, there are actual cuts that matter, like to the VA, like potentially to Medicaid.
That the Republicans are supporting.
I know, but instead they're messaging never fire a single federal worker.
Let's talk about
Most
what the
Americans
Republicans
think
are
that
doing.
some people can be fired and that you can shrink government. Talk about the goods and services people won't
Frankly,
have
I
if you
think
make these
people
cuts.
have, I think Americans,
Okay, Sonny's losing me again. When Sonny says, let's talk about what the Republicans are doing. Again, the Republicans are doing what they said they would do and what they got voted in to do. At the end of the day, like, it's very, there's an African-American colloquialism said, well, hey, Mom, can I go to the top of the mountain and jump off? No, you can't, son. Why? Jimmy gets to do it. I don't give a damn. Jimmy's not my son. I don't care about what Jimmy gets to do. I'm not responsible for Jimmy. And that's kind of how I feel about when I hear Democrats say, well, what about the Republicans? They're not our responsibility. My job is to get the Democrats to where they need to be to win elections and actually do right by the American people so we don't have to worry about what the Republicans are doing.
for me, I worry a lot less about the protests that are going on in Congress, and I care a lot more about the protests that are going on at town halls and in the streets of America. Because I think that if we want to develop a message, we are the ones that have to show up. Don't depend on your elected officials right now. This is going to be bottom up, and we have to make.
But see, this is the thing. Republicans listen to their constituents. Even if they're lying to them, they listen to them. The left and Democrats can be bottom up all they want. But guess what? If they are not listening to the protest and actually implementing the things that the bottom up movement wants them to do, what is the point? This is how we got here again.
Donald Trump and the Republicans in Congress. We've got to make the Republicans in Congress, who have the power to address all those issues, because they run the House, they run the Senate. We have got to make them more scared of us and losing their seats than they are
How do you
scared of
think
Donald
they're
Trump.
doing at that right now? Is what I would say.
Exactly. The Democrats are garbage at defending themselves. We need some new movements. We need to be listening to people like AOC. We need to be listening to Jasmine Crockett, Maxwell Frost. Like, get the youngins out there, get the squad out there, because we're done. The left and the Democrats are done. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to the Poe Theory Network, which houses the Snap Black Pod. Peace.